So Andrew Callaghan was on No Jumper a little while back. My homie Kosuke actually recommended this podcast to me. If you're not familiar with Andrew Callaghan, he's the host and interviewer of one of the best YouTube channels there is, in my opinion, Channel 5, formerly All Gas No Breaks. All Gas No Breaks is his older content. Channel 5 is his current content. But I wanted to talk to y'all about it because he brought up a couple of things that interest me. Horrorcore, first of all, and a couple of other things I want to touch on. So let me just break down the whole podcast real quick. Andrew talked about listening to Aesop Rock and MF Doom and LP in high school and being an egotistical rapper, which is something that always fascinates me about Andrew Callaghan, is how he always asks his interviewees if they got bars. Andrew was really brave and actually asked Adam if he feels responsible for perpetuating any of the gang violence. They then touched a little bit on horrorcore, and I'm going to show you a clip from that right now.
Is there a avant-garde artistic rap star who could come out and cause a cultural change so much that it would actually impact, or is there anything that could happen that would like disincentivize violence, or like talking about violence, or making your song so themed around that? Like, what could possibly happen in the culture that would make that less of a thing?
Maybe there could be a resurgence in like a horrorcore music where the rappers just lying about like school shootings and like shit, like Eminem style,
like ghouls and monsters.
Yeah, like slaying demons and sci-fi shit. I mean, really, remember that era? Imagine if someone did a fact-checking documentary about one of those guys.
Yeah, did he really?
Did Eminem actually kill his wife? Because here's a picture of her alive, and all the comments are like, "Fuck this fool, he's a poser."
Yeah, like what if rap was more like death metal, where like
exactly.
every song is about like dismembering somebody?
Yeah, like fantasy.
But you haven't. Everyone assumes you haven't dismembered anyone.
Mm-hmm. What does dismembering mean?
It's like removing your member.
Yeah, for
or
years,
some members.
For most of my life, I thought it meant to kick someone out of like a private circle, like you're no longer a member. And I always wonder why it was included with decapitation. And
It's
whatnot.
like ripping someone from head to toe, I'm pretty sure. But you go through a death metal phase?
No.
No Jumper, please don't hit me with a copyright strike. Andrew talked about Cartnarks, another one of my favorite YouTubers on the platform, and said that they're going to be doing a collab video of some sort in the future. That has me like really excited. Go check out Cartnarks as well. If you're not familiar with Cartnarks, he busts people who don't return their cart to the buggy there, to the return gimmick. What the fuck? He talks with Adam a little bit about his movie with A24, which is basically his January 6th / election movie. So I'm really excited about this project. He's been teasing it for a while. I know he's got amazing footage that will be dropping. Exciting to hear that it's an A24 project as well. They talk about Soft White Underbelly a little bit, another one of my favorite YouTubers on the platform. They have a little bit of a conversation of whether or not it's exploitative. Those kind of interviews. He breaks down the all gas, no brakes deal and how that went and really fell apart, I guess. And then they talk a little bit about the Insane Clown Posse and the Gathering of the Juggalos. I'm gonna play you that clip right here.
And then you'll just find a destination and just head out?
Yeah, like we're going to the Gathering of the Juggalos next week.
You got good access for the Gathering of the Juggalos?
Yeah, the Lyrical Lemonade dudes are letting us use one of their press passes.
Lyrical Lemonade has Gathering of the Juggalos press passes.
Jake and Cole.
Enough to let you borrow some.
Jake and Cole are like letting us roll with them and like interview ICP themselves.
Wow.
They rejected our press pass last year. I'm not sure why.
Huh. I've spent a lot of time with those guys at this point. It's very interesting because they're not touring as much because they're dealing with health issues and stuff. So they're very much in the sunset part of their career, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I mean, you know, what's crazy about the Gathering is that Chris Hansen hosted it last year. Like, they have such an insane lineup of people that, like, make the Gathering happen now. It's fucking amazing.
I wonder how nuts it is now because, dude, there was a point, and they made this clear to me, too, where they were booking, like, huge rappers, huge metal bands and shit, and it just got to the point where they were losing fucking money like crazy.
You heard of Hepatitis Lake?
That's a lake at the Gathering of the Juggalos?
Yeah, with like car batteries and like fish that are so fried from acid that they just have like bones rising to the surface, and it's just full of naked juggalos.
Doesn't the Gathering of the Juggalos sound like something that you did a video about many years ago?
Well, honestly, we didn't want to do the Gathering for a while because like it's been so overcovered. Like since Vice killed it back in the day. If Vice did some shit 6 years ago, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
But that's a good point because you guys are kind of like taking the lane of what Vice was at a certain point, don't you think?
Yeah.
This was obviously filmed before the Gathering of the Juggalos. I don't know if he actually did go to the Gathering. He did say he was going there to interview the Insane Clown Posse, but did he actually do the interview is my question. I'm hoping that this interview did go down and it's gonna drop. Andrew Callaghan interviewing the Insane Clown Posse at the Gathering of the Juggalos. That's basically right up my alley. Andrew mentions he got a full scholarship for graffiti. Andrew says he doesn't like to watch a lot of other documentaries because he's afraid he's going to end up biting other people's stuff. And Andrew mentions that the protest footage that he did in Minneapolis changed him, which I do feel like is the turning point for Channel 5 becoming not just a goofy YouTube interview show where they're interviewing drunk teenagers on a beach somewhere or something, and it really turns a corner and becomes important to actual culture in society. Anyway, I love Andrew Callaghan. I think he does such important content. If you haven't seen Channel 5 content, please go check that shit out. Shouts out to No Jumper once again. Please don't hit me with a copyright strike. And that's about it. I just wanted to give you the horrorcore and the juggalo references that I found in this little podcast that I was enjoying. Anyway, y'all, I love you. Whoop whoop. More content coming.